What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of.
In 2012, my house was foreclosed on, and I was living with my wife and daughter at the time. At that point, I lost my car, which means I also didn't have a job anymore. And after that, I had nowhere to go. That was the start of my 11 days of being street homeless. You know, my first day, that's the realization, I have nowhere to go. And my first instinct was transportation hubs. So a day might be spent riding the metro. I had 2 enormous plastic bags full of basically all my possessions, and I kind of stood out. But I figured even there, I would be okay. I think most of the time it was really just trying not to be thought of as being homeless. But all those worst case scenarios that I always thought were just that ended up becoming true. I had a 6-figure job, I had a home, and it didn't take a lot for those things to go away.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. I let, my selfishness and my addiction overpower being a father. I went out getting high, just recklessly, driving around, didn't care. And I lost my job. I'm riding around with the drug dealer in my car. I was just doing all types of things that was unhealthy and unsafe. My daughters wanted my time, but my time was spent elsewhere. Because back in 2000, I got incarcerated for 7 years straight. And my youngest daughter hadn't even turned 1 yet. So when I came home, she was 7 years old. That was the hardest challenge for me, to have a relationship with this young lady that really doesn't know me.
It's been ups and downs, but I've learned to persevere no matter where I am. I've slept outside of Rising Hope. I remember one night I was out there alone. I sat there with my back against the church, and I trusted the angels around me, and I just stayed up. I talked to God, and I had been thrown out of someone's house at that time. They really went off on me, and I asked someone if I could stay at their place for a week to let the person calm down, and she said I couldn't come back. So I've been in and out of homes, and everywhere I've been, I try to contribute somehow. Cleaning, I'm great at cleaning. It's been an interesting journey.
You just can't really relax. You don't eat well, you don't sleep well. By about the 4th or 5th day, I was riding a bus, and this was the first time I had an experience of someone sitting near me, getting a whiff of me, and moving to the other side of the bus. And I think that's where it really hit home. Is this how life is going to be from now on?
In 2014, I was at my bottom, and my sister that lives in Virginia drove in the middle of the night to come get me because I cried out for help. I said, I'm in a bad space. I knew she was coming, and by the end of the evening, I was in detox.
It was crazy because I would stay at the hypothermia, then I'd have to go catch a bus to ride around for a couple of hours for Rising Hope to open.
After I finished, my time in the detox, I ended up going to the Carpenter Shelter, and about my 3rd month in, my counselor, Marissa Henderson, she came to me with an application from New Hope. It was for veterans, and I filled it out, and a couple weeks later, they came, did the interview, and they gave me an opportunity and allowed me to move into the Veterans House on 211 Aspen Street.
Initially, we offer hospitality. Whatever their misfortune has been, whatever their missteps have been, come in, we welcome you. And then we realized that we need a path that takes people out of homelessness into some lasting change. And that path starts and maybe ends with stable housing.
The important thing that the Kennedy Shelter provides was just having an actual place to be, having a roof over my head and having a place to keep clothes made it possible for me to then return to job interviews. It really was just stability at a time when there was none.
For the first few days, it was kind of weird. It's like I couldn't believe it. I just sat at the table for a few days, like by the window. I love the natural light. I open my blinds every day. I very seldom have the lights on. It was a welcome that I really needed. It was like we as homeless people were thought well of, because when you're homeless, you're not always thought well of. A lot of times you're ignored.
And not even so much ignored, to the extent that people pay attention to you, they pay attention to you with contempt. And as a parent, you wish you could spare your kids from any kind of trouble or painful situations, but you can't. But I hope that my experience has taught her that there's nothing you can do to avoid tough times, but you can always do something about it, and you can always keep fighting. And sorry. Said I wasn't gonna do that. Sorry. But you know, if she can learn from that, then something positive will have come out of it.
It's not about me anymore. It's definitely about my children. I'm making it about them. It took me 12 years to get where I'm at with her, to where she can call me and ask me for suggestions. That is the most beautiful thing in the world to me.
It's been a blessing to be here. I have an assurance that I can come to this place, put the key in the keyhole where I reside.
When I got that paper and I signed that lease, it was the proudest moment for me, because all the hard work that I had put in is starting to pay off. I'm finally at the point in my life where I'm not just existing or surviving. I'm living life, and this is how life's supposed to be lived, and enjoying it.
Everyone deserves access to basic human needs. Some people aren't always going to get it right the first or second time, but New Hope will take people in always. I needed help, and New Hope gave it to me.
New Hope Housing works because we care about each person as an individual and work with them as an individual. We don't give up on anybody. And it works because we have real tangible tools to build a better life. So in short, we end homelessness for people. And by ending homelessness, we make our community a better place for each and every one of us.
New Hope gives you hope, because when I got here, I was able to relax. I said, this is home. I'm not homeless anymore. This is home.